This is a long story. It's about the Peter, Paul, and Mary album, See What Tomorrow Brings. I've misplaced my copy where I wrote down my name on the album cover so that it said Peter, Paul, and Mary and Matt, back when I was a kid, right? So I had to buy this one here, a spare. Let's see if I could get it open. And we'll take a little gander at it and see what's going on here. Then I have something else to say about it. But let's first see if I can unpack this thing without destroying everything. Okay. So we have an album piece of vinyl here. See What Tomorrow Brings. And here we have the actual album cover. A little tear in it, unfortunately, which I didn't see in the description, but that's what happens sometimes when you buy things. Let's see what's going on here. It's kind of stuck, too. There we go. Okay. So, to explain, I wrote in some kind of magic marker pen, I guess it was, a plus sign and then M-A-T-T right here on my original, if I can ever find it. And in my novel, The Chestnut Tree, I make a reference to this particular album and the song, If I Were Free, which is actually the opener. I had forgotten that. So this is the excerpt from the book. Gladys has given Adam's photograph of Martin Luther King to Martin, and she says, I gave your picture to Martin. After the march, Gladys said to Sally. He really liked it. He said he wanted to see you two again soon. Really, I said. Wow, Sally added. Wait a second, Gladys said, and she went back into the house. Here it comes. A minute later, we heard Peter, Paul, and Mary singing If I Were Free. And this. That's better, Gladys said as she sat down in her wicker chair. And we listened to Mary Travers singing about when mankind ceased to fight, and she would raise her head in thanks each night. Gladys pointed at the buds on the chestnut tree, and she said, look, children, spring is coming. Which I kind of like that line, actually, because the chestnut tree is a symbol of the blossoming characters of these young children, Adam and Sally. So the lyrics that I'm referring to are, if I were free to speak my mind, I'd tell a tale to all mankind of how the flowers do bloom and fade, of how we've fought and how we've paid. That's how it starts. The second verse, or really the first verse, that's really the chorus they start with. Because this weary world has had its fill of words of war on every hill. The time has come for peaceful days and peaceful men of peaceful ways. Okay, so the verse that I'm quoting when I say we heard Mary singing about when mankind ceased to fight is this one. When all mankind has ceased to fight, I'll raise my head in thanks each night for this rich earth and all it means, for golden days and peaceful dreams. Then they repeat, if I were free to speak my mind, I'd tell a tale to all mankind of how the flowers do bloom and fade, of how we've fought and how we've paid. So that is how I wove my childhood memory of singing along with Peter, Paul, and Mary for this record into the Chestnut Tree. And I hope you all enjoyed the book and all the great music that's in it, including this song. Now, the rest of the story. So this album came out in 1965. And in 1969, early in 69, I was lucky enough to be at a recording session with Peter, Paul, and Mary. The record is called Peter, Paul, and Mommy. And a whole bunch of us were invited to the recording studio. And you can see me in my little tennis sweater right here. And that's my mother, Patience Fish-Tukulski, right up there. And we sang with Peter, Paul, and Mary. See them down here? So we sang all these great songs Especially Day Is Done, that was the big hit from this record. These three kids were not at the recording studio as far as I know. But Day Is Done, Puff the Magic Dragon, of course, I'm on the background of these songs on this record. So I actually did get to sing with Peter, Paul, and Mary. Going to the Zoo, Leatherwing Bat. Well, some of them we didn't sing on. It's a variety. I guess Day Is Done we sang on, Puff the Magic Dragon, of course. So there I am in all my glory with my heroes, Peter, Paul, and Mary, on the record Peter, Paul, and Mommy, and going back to the original inspiration for that reference in Chestnut Tree of If I Were Free. It was a fantastic album from the great Peter, Paul, and Mary. So there we are. Long story, kind of interesting, I hope, and we'll see you next time.